This is an alien race.
From the ghost of the girl hunched on the road to a piercing scream in a church in Mexico,
y con tu espíritu.
the internet is full of mysterious footage that has left us more scared than curious. The stories behind those creepy videos are so haunting that there are no willing parties to investigate them.
Recently, we told you about that spooky situation in Las Vegas when a flash in the sky was captured on video.
Join us as we break down the 20 mysterious videos that cannot be explained. Let's get started. Number 20. Ghosts saves a man in China. We all have grown up listening to ghost stories. These measly, malevolent creatures can cause you harm when provoked or when things don't go their way. They are evil spirits that want to hurt humans to avenge a wrongdoing that haunts them. That's what stories tell us, right? Well, a lucky rickshaw driver in China will tell you otherwise. The man was trying to cross an empty, entrenched road in the middle of the night when a truck, speeding at maximum, came into his path. While the driver tries to cross the road quickly, his rickshaw's speed is incomparable to the truck driver's. And well, for a split second, we can see that it is over for the man who couldn't escape the odds. But wait, something so miraculous happens that the internet is shocked and divided. An unknown force appears on the empty road in a split second, taking the rickshaw driver out of harm's way. Watch as the rickshaw driver is teleported to the road opposite the truck driver. And again, with lightning speed, the ghost who saved the rickshaw driver's life disappears. It has been over a decade since this video made its way to the internet, and even today it leaves its viewers on the edge, just like the following mysterious clip on our list. Number 19. A giant robot in Area 51. We all know that Area 51 is shrouded with deep secrets, mysteries, and scientific discoveries that the US government wants to hide from the rest of the world. This is why there have been grand schemes and plans to storm the area, just to see what lies inside. Lawmakers have even dragged the US government to Congress hearings to quench public curiosity, but nothing truly substantial came out of it. But what if we tell you that one bored YouTuber stumbled upon an Area 51 discovery that left us asking for more? Scott, a content creator who surveils the world using Google Maps, was bored when he decided to dig deep around Area 51. In one glimpse, it looks the same. A bunch of blocks surrounded by empty, extensive land. But for some reason, Scott decided to zoom into the small pin of the area he could see on the screen. And that's when he noticed a shadow of a humanoid that looked like a giant robot. See it for yourself? Yet that's not it. As Scott zoomed even more, he saw another giant robot that wasn't easy to spot. Is the US government guarding Area 51 using robots? Well, it seems like it. But of course, not all phenomena are easy to dissect. Number 18. Ghost on the field. While watching a heated football match, you will likely set your eyes on the ball or the goalpost. When you have 22 men running around the field, keeping your eyes fixated on one thing is hard. This is why no one noticed when a dark, tall spirit made its way onto the football field during a match between Bayern and Dortmund. A shocking high-definition clip from the live telecast of the match shows a dark image rampaging across the field. Eerily enough, even the players don't notice an unwarranted, chilling, and scary presence. The ghost running on the pitch appears for a split second, but the match happened in broad daylight in front of a massive crowd. Yet no one seemed to catch a glimpse of a ghost running around the pitch. The match continued as if nothing happened. Only after the match did people notice the strange presence on the pitch. The speculation about the dark figure has continued, reminding us of another similar story. Number 17. Kids get scared by a goblin. Playing outside is a matchless childhood memory. But everything changed for a bunch of Argentinian kids when their friendly football match just outside their village was haunted by a small, dark goblin that almost attacked them. In the mysterious video, we see kids kicking the ball around when an eerie, short-heighted figure runs towards them. The kids take a second to process that they're in extreme danger. And when they do, there's nothing but chaos. You can hear the terrified kids screaming at the top of their lungs as they run away from the goblin ghost.
¿Dónde?
It is obvious that the creature wasn't an animal, as the children's reaction was extremely nerve-wracking. The video cuts short when the kid recording it also has to run to take refuge. At the end of the video, we can hear some deeply disturbing noises. Unfortunately, we have no information about what happened next. Number 16, the creepy hike. 3 young friends used to regularly hike on their favorite route until a shocking encounter scarred them forever. While the group was deep into the woods, they caught something strange on their camera. Once they zoomed in, they saw a group of cloaked individuals lined up, marching into the forest's darkness. They were all dressed in white gowns, and their heads were covered. That's when the group realized that the eerie, unexplainable noises weren't coming from an animal they hadn't encountered before. It was a cloaked group chanting some sort of religious rituals or hymns, and that realization sent shivers down their spine. The friends wanted to follow the group into the deep woods, but thankfully they decided against it. It's unclear whether they ever took the same route for another hike, but the strange encounter with scary, cloaked figures would definitely haunt them for the years to come. However, as the next segment will prove, not all encounters are bad. Number 15. A real-life guardian angel. You might believe you have a guardian angel looking over you, or maybe not. Even though the idea comes from biblical stories and most religions, it is hard to conceptualize meeting a divine being that'll save your life. Serdar Biniciyi, a shopkeeper from Turkey, has a different story to tell. Back in 2019, Serdar was standing outside of his store, presumably locking the doors. In the CCTV footage captured from a nearby camera, we can see that a stranger appears to walk past him out of nowhere. And while he's on his way, he taps Serdar on his shoulder, trying to grab his attention. As soon as the shopkeeper turns back to look who had tapped him, he sees a big white lorry heading towards him. At a glance, it looked like the lorry was getting too close to Serdar. But then it looked like a near-miss situation until the vehicle's huge metal door swung straight in front of Serdar. Since he could see the door, he quickly stepped a few millimeters away from the unhinged door. If he hadn't seen the intrusion, the door would have left him significantly injured. Yet, thanks to his guardian angel, who disappeared into thin air, Serdar lived a second life. He looks around for the mystery man who saved him but can't see anyone. Even when the video went viral, no one stepped up to take the responsibility of doing the noble deed. So, did Serdar really meet his guardian angel? It seems like it. Number 14. The ghost of the dead woman. We all have heard the saying, "There's plenty of fish in the sea." But a man took the idea very literally when he set up his fishing equipment near an infamous lake, hoping to catch a plethora of fish and make some money. Surprisingly, the lake seems abandoned, which looks rather odd. Until you realize that the lake was harbored after a local woman drowned and died in the water body. The natives left the lake alone to honor the death of the innocent woman. Not the fisherman in the video, though. But of course, he wasn't going to let go easily. Everything seems fine, right? Well, not really. The man is seen sitting on the railing around the lake when someone, or rather something dark, scary, and mysterious emerges beneath his feet. Look closely. Does that not look like a woman with a decayed face to you? The alleged ghost only appears for a second, but the haunted face was caught on camera. Do you think the man went back to the lake ever again? Now on to the next topic. Number 13. Scary clown caught by the doorbell camera. When this man installed a doorbell camera, he hoped it would add to his and his family's safety, but fate had other plans. He never expected to wake up to footage so frightening that it would chill his bones. Look at how a creepy, eerie clown appears out of thin air in front of the person's house. The scary creature takes a slow, wobbly walk toward the front gate's doorbell camera. It almost feels as if he wanted to tell the residents that a creepy clown lurks outside their house. But as soon as he hears some noises from the house, presumably coming from the children, he retreats and eventually walks away. What sort of clown is scared of children? Guess we will never know. Number 12. The extraterrestrial encounter. It is easy to dismiss any video evidence citing UFOs because, well, what if it's something edited? Or what if the video is a deep fake? Well, the UFO sighting over the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. in 2019 didn't have to fight such rumors. After all, 3 distinct videos of the UFO sighting were taken by 3 individuals from very different places.
Oh man, what is this?
Even the government couldn't refute the hard-hitting evidence. In all three videos, taken from a single position and moving cars, we see something shiny and abrupt in the night skies. Initially, it is hard to determine the shimmering light in the skies, but as the unidentified flying object hovers around, we can see a disc-like structure moving across the skies at a rapid speed. While we only have 3 popular videos of the UFO sighting, there were also several eyewitness accounts of the phenomenon. Even big news sources like Wired and the New York Times covered the investigation, which was later concealed by the Ministry of Defense. It was also speculated that perhaps there was not 1 but 2 UFOs hovering over Washington that day. People on the internet marveled over the sighting and found it ironic too. The Pentagon had spent decades denying any UFO sightings until some extraterrestrial beings decided to send them a message that hit homes, quite literally. Number 11. Doll comes to life. No, dolls don't only come alive in horror movies. In this mysterious footage from a Mexican home, we can see a young girl engrossed in her playtime when her favorite doll suddenly moves an inch. We see the doll's hair pulled by an unknown, invisible force for a split second. Maybe it was the doll's way of signaling her young owner that an evil spirit was inside her, begging for her attention. But the young girl continues to play with her other toys and pays no heed to the doll until another paranormal experience leaves her frightened. In the following footage, recorded 4 days later, the same girl is seen doing her homework in her house's lounge. By then, the sun had already set, and no one was seen around her. That's when the papers on the table start to rattle, signaling an unknown invisible presence in the room. When the girl realizes someone else is with her in the room, she panics and screams. Number 10, real-life ghost story. A young mother decided to install a camera in her child's room for his safety. But she didn't know that the camera would catch something so haunting and disturbing that she would have to think about moving houses altogether. The mysterious footage shows a dark shadow lurking from the room's window, but the sleeping child can't pay attention to it. All of a sudden, the cupboard's door is wide open too. But clearly no one in the room could have done that. A moment later, the mother steps into the room with her baby. While she does notice something is wrong with the cupboard and the moving swing attached to the window, she doesn't make much out of it. We also see the teddy bear on the bed moving a smidge. But the paranormal activity goes unnoticed by the mother. It's when we see the dark shadow's hand creeping inside the room as it tries to open the window wide open. We know there's someone lurking in the dark for sure, but we can't make out the exact figure of the intruder. As the footage goes on, we see the eldest child opening his eyes as his sixth sense kicks in. He sees the creature from the split in the window and chaos ensues. The mother wakes up with a jolt too, and that's when she grabs her children and escapes. Yep, the video just sent a shiver down our spine too. Number 9, the metallic cube. In February 2022, a pilot was flying his routine flight over Medellin, Colombia, when he realized an uncanny intrusion in the skies. The pilot immediately knew that he wasn't surrounded by a usual aircraft, as the control tower had indicated 0 air traffic for his flight schedule, but he could definitely see something fly past in his trajectory. And something deep inside told him that the unidentified flying object wasn't from planet Earth. Now, the pilot had already heard countless theories about extraterrestrial beings sending probes to Earth before they can launch a full-fledged alien ship onto the planet. So did the pilot witness a probe hovering around the Colombian skies?
Are the people who work in the sky and operate in it, so they're going to have the best view of any potential UFOs.
That's what the mysterious footage shows. The clip was recorded from the cockpit, and upon zooming, we can see a cube-shaped flying object floating in the skies. The object also seems to have edges, which suggests that it has the capacity to attach to a bigger flying surface, perhaps an alien ship of some sort. Upon a closer look, you can see a beam of light emerging from the UFO too. So, did the pilot have a close encounter with one of those data-gathering probes? Possibly. But the next footage on our list is perhaps a lot crazier. Number 8. Aliens in a backyard. There's a family in Las Vegas that witnessed an alien intrusion from their own eyes. And the evidence collected from the site was so credible that Metro had to install cameras around the house to observe any further ET activity. Believe it or not, aliens might have visited a family's backyard in the U.S. state of Nevada in June 2023. It was the same day when several skywatchers from the U.S. and beyond witnessed something curious and fascinating. A massive fireball was streaking through the sky at a rapid speed. No one had ever witnessed anything like this before. Even though people suggested that they might have seen something cosmological, a 911 call would force them to speculate more. A family from Las Vegas panicked, calling the police when they saw 10-foot beings in their yard.
You see,
It was like a big creature.
a big creature?
Yeah, like around 10 feet tall.
They couldn't make out their identities, but the family claimed whoever they saw wasn't human, and their figures were more alien-like. Now, typically, police wouldn't take such calls seriously, but one of the police officers on duty had seen something fall out of the sky, too. And guess what? He was in the same vicinity. While talking to the media, the family members claimed they couldn't see anything beyond a blurry vision when they tried to inspect their backyard again. They suspect the aliens had camouflaged themselves in thick fog to conceal their identities. When police officers inspected the backyard, they also found a huge circle engraved in the soil, suggesting something might have landed on the ground. Homeowners had no idea how the ring had appeared in their backyard. Months later, we still have no idea about the mysterious 911 call that left the family scared and inquisitive. Now, on to our next alien story. Number 7. UFO in Jerusalem. We have heard American accounts of UFO sightings and alien intrusions. But almost 12 years ago, the natives of Jerusalem witnessed a phenomenon that left them shocked yet equally mesmerized. So far, even NASA isn't able to explain the alleged UFO sighting that was seen over the Dome of the Rock. A white fireball was seen approaching the dome, and as soon as it hit something, it shot up back to the sky.
Whoa!
The phenomenon was brief, but larger than life. There were many eyewitness accounts of the UFO sighting, but there's only one clear footage of the incident that you can see on your screen. But of course, this sighting in Jerusalem wasn't typical. Not to mention, the white ball of light had made its touchdown on one of the holiest places on Earth, the Dome of the Rock or Temple Mount. Many locals declared the light holy and divine. Now, on to the next topic. Number 6. Man in the lab coat teleports. This is perhaps the most confusing footage we have today. In the mysterious video, we can see a busy highway in broad daylight. A truck is on its way at a high speed when it has to steer away to save a creature in a white lab coat that appears on the road out of a thin area. Using some amazing reflexes, the trucker is able to save himself from hitting the man in the lab coat. But we can't overlook the idea that the creature just seemed to teleport on the road. And as it avoids the collision with the truck, it simply walks away and disappears off the sidewalk. Did the trucker ever get to know who he saved from dying? Or did the creature even need saving? Well, there are more questions than answers for this mysterious video, which reminds us of another haunted truck story. Number 5. Driving by the haunted road. Pedro is an experienced trucker who has driven through even the wildest terrain in Louisiana in the United States of America. His peers had always talked about a haunted road in their route that he must avoid at all costs. After all, they had experienced a string of supernatural sightings on the road, usually that of a pale woman crying for help. But Pedro had a job to do, and the infamous terrifying route couldn't have been avoided. His journey was going seamlessly until he saw a moving creature on the side of the road. As he drove closer to the spot, he saw a pale young woman hunched on the ground as if she was severely injured and couldn't walk. It seemed like the ghost of the woman raised her hand to ask for help. But after witnessing the creepy image, Pedro just kept driving. And well, that was the best decision to take at the moment. Wouldn't you agree? Number 4. Creepy voice in the church. A local church in Mexico was having its typical Sunday Mass when a haunting, chilling voice interrupted the priest's sermon. Hear it for yourself.
Y con tu espíritu.
If a shiver went down your spine, you can only imagine what the church attendees must have felt that day. We can see a weak echo of someone asking for help initially. The priest continues the prayer until the excruciating cry for help becomes unbearable and pierces through the church. With every passing moment, the pleas for help are getting more helpless too. That's when the priest stops his recitation to perhaps look for the origin of the screams. From what we know, they couldn't find anyone in the church screaming, "Please help." It's still unclear who the intruding scream was from, but the locals speculate it was perhaps an evil being who couldn't tolerate the sanctity of the church. And as it eroded in the darkness, it made painful pleas for help. Number 3, the unknown dark creature. 4 young boys were having a night out in Western Australia. It's unclear from the footage where they are, but it seems like they were in the middle of the woods in pitch darkness. Perhaps that was a rookie mistake, but nothing could have prepared them for what they were about to witness. The shocking incident occurred when 3 of the friends wanted to take a photo in the middle of nowhere. Their other friend tried to play a little trick on them by making them pose for a photo only to take a little video of them instead. That's how they were able to capture a strange creature on its hands and knees, making its way behind the 3 friends. When the creature touches their leg, they scream at the top of their lungs, and the video abruptly ends. The mystery of the dark creature continues. Number 2, the Skinwalker. You would think that skinwalkers only exist in movies, novels, and fantasies. Well, this TikToker believes otherwise. She was busy working in her garden area when she heard a rattling voice from her roof. As she looked up, she saw a weird creature climbing up her roof, and it definitely wasn't human. Since the roof was translucent, she could only see the trace of the creature, but it was something vile that didn't have a backbone. The TikToker claims the creature was slithering on her roof, and she believes it to be a skinwalker. What do you think? Number 1, Lady with the Knife. It's true that doorbell cameras help you feel safe and sound. Not the residents of this house, though. It was the middle of the night when they heard their doorbell ring. It was an uncommon occurrence. Upon watching the footage on their doorbell cam, they were left shocked and frightened. An old lady who had little life in her eyes was waiting outside with a big knife. She was fidgeting while waiting. She didn't seem impatient. In fact, she kept looking back as if she was waiting for someone to join her. She rings the bell more than once, but of course the family doesn't open the door. The old lady directly creeps into the camera, but Eventual Eye decides to leave. The residents of the house still don't know who she was or where she came from. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.